Hey everybody, welcome to the Launching Life's Journeys podcast powered by Heartland RV. For everybody that is in the RV lifestyle, you are going to be happy with today's guest because we've got big surprises in store for you. What kind of surprises are we talking about? $2,500 cash prize if you are talented. So are you somebody that sings in the shower of your travel trailer? Do you dance in your fifth wheel? Does your family think that you have a great talent to showcase to the masses? Well, as you see with our guest backdrop behind you, that's right. RVTV.TV, a brand new network dedicated to this lifestyle, has a great competition that we're going to get into. But first, let me introduce my good friend, Dan Dominski from Canella Media and RVTV. Dan, welcome, and thank you for being a guest of the Launching Life's Journeys podcast.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I was just really excited to meet you the other day, and pleasant surprises come at every turn. So I really appreciate it.
And I got to tell you too, honestly, this whole journey for me, the last 2.5 years since I've been in the industry, it's all about serendipity and timing. And it just, like I said, we're building up to where we're going more and more direct to the consumer to support our dealer networks, as well as build our own brand. So when people go to do their shopping, we don't have to be as dependent on our partner dealers, but we can actually reciprocate and do more for them, which has now led up to, I couldn't even believe when I first saw, I go, wait a minute. There is a media company out there that is putting together a dedicated TV network to highlight the lifestyle. And I've already taken a look. You and I have talked offline. Some of the content that you guys have blows me away, and it's exactly what our industry needed. And I think it's going to help build even more demand for people to, hey, you know what? We were thinking about getting RV, but we just don't know. There's a lot of unknown things. RVTV.TV, attention everyone, go to it now. It's live. I just want to outline, Dan, what you and your team have put together is pretty incredible. Number one, you have some great content being provided by some great organizations. You got RV Miles. So if anybody knows the Epperson family, they're a part of it. I see Begin RV, RV Life, the NRVTA, RV Unplugged, which is like one of the craziest shows I've ever seen. I'm going to let you kind of get into that. So first, for all of our listeners, what is RVTV?
We're a full-time RV and RV lifestyle network. So currently we're going to start out the programming with 15 hours a day of RV programming, 7 a.m. until 11 p.m. And just like you said, a wide variety of interesting content to keep people interested, have them learn, have them be entertained. And, really, there's such great content on YouTube already. Mm-hmm. And that's what people are watching nowadays.
Right.
And so it's silly to not just piggyback that, get great content providers, get their stuff, that get it seen as many places as you possibly can. Once it's made, unless people are seeing it, it doesn't do anything for anybody. So, yeah. We've partnered with some great people who do, just super creative stuff, and, everything from documentaries and, trailer walkarounds, new technology. We have great sponsors that we're working with. So yeah, we're super excited about everything that's coming.
And you're also very humble. There's a couple stats that I want everybody to pay attention to. RVTV.TV, again, under Canella Media, you guys have 72 OTA broadcast stations already. For those that don't know, OTA is over the air, which comprises over 43 designated markets, 48 million plus TV households, 17 million plus promotional videos already on the network, and they can also stream through Roku, Fire Stick, and web. As far as content, you ain't kidding, Dan. You guys are covering everything. Influencer RV reviews, demonstrations, and comparisons. You're highlighting destinations and cool RV parks, industry news, diversity, product features, tech. I mean, you guys have thought of everything. DIY shows that are coming and so much more, and yet you guys are just getting started. So how many years ago did all this vision start with Canella Media?
So, I mean, RVTV started from a huge failure in, it was a automotive theme station called Cars and Tracks, and not a failure in execution, just a failure in timing.
Okay.
January of 2020, the pandemic really, turned car dealers into, ghost lots. No one had inventory to advertise. It was a horrible time. I ran into an RV dealer, started talking to him about it, realized that there's lots of inventory. There's a ton of competition. Um, there's just so much potential for storytelling with long form content. It's unheard of for manufacturers or dealers to get a half hour program in 72 channels across the country, and Fire Stick and Roku, directly talking about their offerings and their products, and then having really interesting shows built around it,
Right.
to keep viewers entertained. So I think that's the most exciting part about it, is that there'll be something for everybody, and it really is. It hasn't been done before. It's combining social media, television, long form advertising, which is, Canela Media sold $10 billion worth of products using long form advertising. So
Yeah.
it works, and works really well.
100%. And it's funny, you and I were having a conversation offline before we started recording. And what really blows me away is that, a lot of the ideas and everything that you guys have put together, I made this comment, here on my notes. I put a true dedicated, TV broadband streaming network. That to me equals mainstream. And it's funny. And I mentioned again, I talked about that serendipity and the timing. What's everybody doing now? We have a lot of full-time RVers, so to speak, that work their tails off to put out content at scale every single day with the hopes of either A, getting enough followers so they can be monetized and start earning a little bit of revenue from their efforts. And yet you guys just totally come in and like melee that and say, we can go even way better. So if you're somebody that thinks you're talented, yeah, you can continue getting your own following on social. What I would do is I would do everything I could to get involved with RVTV.tv, because you guys, again, 48 million TV households, 17 million promotional videos, Roku, Fire Stick, your access via the website alone. You're getting ready to ramp up with social media. I mean, I'm telling you, if you are somebody that's living the RV lifestyle and you think you've got a talent, you have an amazing competition that's starting up. So why don't we talk about that? I mentioned it in the intro. $2,500 cash prize. We know, right? We've watched a lot of these videos, or we call them influencers, or whatever we want to call them, traveling nomads, digital nomads. My buddy from Rootless Living magazine, he makes a joke and calls himself the analog nomad. But either way, there's content coming out. We do see talent. I can't sing, I can't dance, but maybe I can provide a lot of information that brings a lot of value to a lot of people, and I could enter to participate in this competition. So why don't you let all of our listeners know, all of our RV owners know, if they have a talent, what is this new competition all about?
Yeah, so season 1 of RVers Got Talent is going to launch in September. There is submission points on our website, rvtv.tv right now. 1 to 2 minute videos of your talent, singing, dancing, playing the guitars, whatever it is. Submit the video. We're going to have a bi-weekly show that'll air 3 times per week.
Okay.
People will be able to vote via QR codes and on our website, and we'll also be working and airing on several different YouTubers pages as well. So you'll be able to see it there and vote there, and a whole bunch of different points to participate. And then each week there's going to be 2 winners. Those winners will move on to the finals, and the winner gets a $2,500 cash prize. And Canela Media will also add an additional $2,500 to the charity of the winner's choice. So, we want to make it fun. We want to make it interactive. We want people to be coming back, and that's for it's for the consumer, the viewer. It's for the advertisers and the sponsors, because ultimately it's only as good as the team that we put together, and by team I mean viewers, advertisers, the whole
Right.
thing. So if we can provide interesting stuff for people to watch, get involved, that's a win-win for everybody, and help people in the process. So
yeah, and I cannot contain my excitement, because like I said, I think the future of what you guys are building is so amazing. Because what do I always hear? There's first-time RVers, they buy the coach, it's sitting there in the driveway, and they go, "Oh, we got the PDI. We don't know where to start with this thing. How are we going to live our life? Do we want to document it and share it?" And now, boom, Dan and his team comes along with a major network that's going to have everything that would help somebody have an amazing ownership experience, from tips, tricks, entertainment, as we said, competitions. I mean, there's families out there right now that are listening that could potentially become stars on the future RVTV network. And that alone just gives me goosebumps. I think it's amazing. And I want everybody listening to get involved and be a part of the RVers Got Talent. If you know somebody, if you're at a seasonal site and you see somebody that's performing, go and talk to them about RVTV and this new competition they have with RVers Got Talent. Is there a deadline of when this is going to cut off to start proceeding?
So the first show is going to air in September, and we'll have exact dates on our website.
Okay.
And it's going to be a 16-week run. So it's going to be essentially 4 months. There'll be 8 weeks of new shows, and then the winners of those 8 weeks, all 16 people will be in the finals, like an America's Got Talent type of thing. Whoever gets the most votes wins.
This is brilliant.
Yeah, we're really excited about it, and there's a lot of different things that we can do like this, and we're just
you're just getting started.
Yeah, we have it. Yeah, we're just getting started with it. The amount of content creators that we'll be working with as we go forward is, I have more people, contacting us by the week, interested in being involved. And we want everybody from van life people, all the way up to somebody living in a $2 million motor coach.
Yep.
On the coast somewhere. I mean, it's everything in between, and we can do anything that we want as far as airing different types of content and making it as creative as somebody wants to be.
And I don't want to speak on your behalf or your producers and things like that, but I also have to believe, when you're building a new, television network, via, all the platforms, whether it's, like I said, mainstream with broadcast, digital, online, things like that. Even with people that, maybe their talent isn't that great, but they have something, would you agree that you and your team, because of the influx of, since you guys started this and everybody wanting to be involved, and I'm sure a lot of these influencers are calling and going, "Hey, Dan, I want to have my own show. How does that go about happening?" Are you guys looking at the content that's coming in and saying, "Hey, you know what? Might not, make it to week 16 of the competition, but we think that you have something, and it could maybe open an opportunity for a new show for that, submission." Is that a possibility with RVTV?
We were just talking about our next show we're going to be doing is like a ridiculousness type blooper video show, and we have obviously studios on the West Coast, and we were talking about having an actual RVer, come in and you can knock out so much in a day, and do something like that. Just make funny little comments about it, and so I mean that's kind of our next idea. So there's always opportunities. There's always opportunities with brands that we're working with that are looking for different creators that they might not know about or might not be able to have gotten with. That we've made some introductions that help out the content creators, this is where that all started. I mean, I've been working with the content creators since last September.
Wow.
I mean, we haven't tried to sell it, an ad on here until 2 weeks ago. So It really has been creating the relationships, making sure that we have a good circle of content to start with. But yeah, it's only going to grow from there. It's only going to get better. And, we're just beyond excited. We're 40% sold on advertising and again, it's been 2 weeks.
That is amazing. And I do want to give you an opportunity too. Although I hope my competition doesn't hear this, but they do. They follow and watch. You just said it though. In 2 weeks' time, you guys are taking off with companies that want to invest. They see the value, they see the ROI, in terms of getting involved in advertising. And that could be a whole nother episode that we have as well. But for anybody listening, and I think it's very important for those privately owned campgrounds, like the non-KOAs, maybe the companies that don't have a major marketing budget annually, RVTV.TV is a tremendous, for right now, underpriced opportunity for you to get your name and your company in front of this massive shift that we are seeing with RVTV, with both the content and exposure. So if somebody is listening and they want to reach out to you, Dan, outside of this podcast, and they want to really take advantage of the ad opportunities that they have, you have all that information that you could provide these companies, correct?
Yeah, it's actually on our website. So in the contact section of the website, my contact information is on there. And yeah, I mean, it's such a neat opportunity for so many different types of, just within the outdoor industry itself. We definitely won't have an issue with, getting advertisers interested. Right. It's more of, keeping that, interesting too, and not flooding, our shows with ads. I mean, we run 23 minutes on a half hour is what the show length is, just like a Seinfeld episode. That's 23 minutes. So, you're not going to get bombarded with advertising. It's going to be interesting spots that are relevant to the RV community. And, hopefully, finding new things. And, we're going to, be able to look on our website for our Instagram and all our other social media platforms. And we're kind of,
but I tell you this, and I want to give you and your team credit. There's another point you just mentioned. A lot of people, they'll say to me, hey, Will, we watch a lot of the content that you're putting out, with the company, Heartland, Cruiser, and DRV, everything from our live episodes that we do, where we do live walkthroughs and things. But the feedback, honestly, that we get, Dan, a lot of times is, when we watch it on YouTube, we're just getting blasted with, commercials like every 30 seconds and 1 minute. It's like, there yet is another level of value with RVTV.TV. You're not going to get blasted every 5 minutes with commercial breaks. And I think that, like I said, is a huge opportunity for both, obviously, retail customers to have that escapism and the entertainment, as well as participate directly with a major network like Canella. But then also, for if you're a company like ours, or a nonprofit company that serves in the RV industry, and you want to be a part of that, talk about great opportunity to get your branding out there without annoying and frustrating a lot of the customers. And when you're tracking or measuring that ROI, what are they always looking at, right? Like, how many views are getting? Well, that's not as important as the engagement. Are they watching the full ad, or are they blowing through it because, it's gotten saturated? So if you are, again, whether you're a retail or, an end consumer that's just living the lifestyle, you got to get on RVTV. If you're a company that is in the lifestyle and you serve, the customers, you've got a great DTC, direct to consumer opportunity with RVTV. Like I said, I'm so excited. I'm sure I'm going to have you on again soon, especially when you guys launch the social and when we have more competitions coming out. But right now, the active one that's going to be starting in September, guys, 16 weeks. Get your submissions in now. If you have a talent, you play an instrument, you can dance, you can sing, you can, I don't know, do flips. Just be safe, do the right things. Don't get injured at your campsite. Don't upset your neighbors at the campsite. But I think that this is going to be exciting. It's funny too, Dan, as I just had the RVIA on as a guest, and they provide a lot of data. Of course, they're reaching directly out to the consumers. And there's an interesting statistic, which I think you and your team ought to feel very, very good about. Again, per the RVIA, they're forecasting 44 million families expect to go camping this year. Wow. So kudos to you guys for coming in at a great time. The demand is through the gills. And I just can't thank you enough, because as we've already discussed and shared, you can only imagine how busy Dan is each and every day. So let's just end with this. a lot of exciting things. My call to action, everybody watching, listening, go to rvtv.tv, learn more about the RVers Got Talent show, learn more about if you want to get involved with your company and get exposure by the likes that you've never seen. My man Dan and his team are going to take care of you with Canoa Media. And then, yeah, I just think, like I said, in a couple months, I think maybe before September, we'll be getting ready to go to the Hershey show, the largest RV show in North America. Maybe good timing to have you back on, Dan, and just kind of talk about the start and all the submissions of the RVers Got Talent show. But, you know, on behalf of Heartland RV and our team, like I said, I can't thank you enough. It is like we are buzzing about what you guys are doing. I think, again, it's so amazing. We had the last 2 years break double records, you know, from 2020 to 2021, and then we beat it again in 2022. We have the largest amount of folks camping throughout North America. Now there's a new network that's emerged that's going to provide every aspect of entertainment, education, information at scale. And I can't freaking applaud you guys enough. I'm so excited. I am not a paid sponsor, but Dan Dominski, it has been a pleasure having you be a guest. Again, everybody get to rvtv.tv to learn more about everything that Dan and his team are doing for the lifestyle. Dan, thank you so much for being a guest of the Launching Life's Journeys podcast.
Thank you, Will. I appreciate it.
I'm Will Miller, and I want to thank you for tuning in to the Launching Life's Journeys podcast, brought to you by Heartland RVs. Stay tuned for our next destination.